Hi everybody, my name is Warren. I'm coming to you from Kelowna, British Columbia, where the Northern Lite truck campers are built. And today we're going to do a walkthrough on the 10-2 limited edition wet bath camper. So to start with, I just want to talk a little bit about the construction of the camper. What we have is a two-piece molded fiberglass camper, clamshell design. We have an upper shell and a lower shell. The upper shell does overlap the lower shell to automatically shed water, and that is the biggest thing that you want to be aware of with the truck camper or any form of RV, is that the less spots for water to get into the structure, the better. So we start off with this. We put the campers together in this section right here. We use stainless steel screws. All the screws on the outside of the camper are stainless steel, so you'll never have any screws rusting and running down the outside of the camper. So if we screw these screws in here, they screw into a strip of marine grade plywood to give them something to bite into, and then we finish it off nicely with this insert molding. On occasion you can get water behind this insert molding when pressure washing the unit. We do put weeping holes in all the areas just to give some ventilation behind that insert molding to get rid of any water that could get behind that. On the outside of the camper we also have an exterior shower. So you have a spot out here that you can wash whatever off you need to have out here. It is a hot and cold system out here. You have a city water. You have a city water connection out here, so if you're in a campsite that has water supply there, you can hook right up to this, which is nice and handy. That way you're not using any of the water up that's inside your coach in your fresh water tank. Another hookup on the outside is a 30 amp service out here for power. Would give you 110 power on the inside for AC or microwave, that sort of thing. Okay. In this storage compartment right here, this compartment right here I should say, is the service center for draining your tanks, your freshwater tank, your black water tank, your gray water tank. All that is just kind of controlled in this area here. There is a little light in here, gives you visibility. Now this section here is also heated. There is a heat duct that blows into this area here. This is all connected to the basement of the camper, and it is all kept nice and warm so that you can go out and camp in sub-zero temperatures. The basement is actually part of the heating ducting system, so we blow nice warm air, hot air in there from the furnace, and it is then being recycled back up into the coach. Keeps everything nice and warm and dry, and in the process heats up your floor, makes a nice toasty warm floor. Okay. So moving forward on the camper, we have a water heater. Okay. Very simple out here, it's lit from the inside. This is a gas electric water heater, so if you happen to be hooked up to shore power, like I was mentioning a little bit earlier, you have two switches on the inside. You can run on 110 power or you can run off of propane. Okay, and it's all controlled from the outside of the unit. You would very seldom ever have to go into this compartment. You also have a connection out here for cable. Again, supplied from a campsite. And if they have a cable television there, you can hook right up to that. You also have your freshwater fill. This fills your freshwater tank and enables you to have fresh water on a pressure demand system right from the pump itself. On the outside of the coach you have jacks on all four corners. These are the happy jacks. These are controlled via a remote control, which I will show you a little bit later. This camper is equipped with swing out jacks, so if your truck happens to be a dually, you will require these, and of course you only need the swing out jacks on the front. It's just a simple matter of pushing up on this little lever on the bottom and the jack will swing in or out. They are in the out position right now. I can't move it right now for you because the jack is on the ground. Okay. Underneath here you have your power connection, which connects to your truck. You have a cord that runs from your truck to here, and what that does is it gives you power to your camper for lights, charging the batteries, and that sort of thing. And this, of course, is when you're traveling down the road. You want to have signal lights and brake lights, that sort of thing, functional. This window here lines up directly with the back window on your truck. It allows you to have a visual right through the camper out the back side. It is surprising actually how much you can see through that. Down here are bumpers. So when you're putting the camper in the back of the truck, you have this as a bit of a guideline, letting you know how far to put the camper in the back of the truck. You don't want to back up and have these pressed up against the box of your truck. When you're putting the camper down, you actually want to be just shy of the back of the truck, probably about ½ an inch away from the front of the box, and then you put your camper down, and then the camper will naturally move forward as you're traveling down the road a little bit, but never slide those down the back of the box. Again, over on this side, you have your happy jack. As I mentioned, they are all on 4 corners. The jack brackets are all powder coated aluminum. We also take our jack brackets and we undermount them. So the jack bracket is undermounted here. It's not just attached on the corner. This is a high stress point. You want to have as strong a bracket on there as possible. If you were to lift something heavy, you would always grab it from underneath. You would never just simply grab it on the side. So this is why we do that. In this compartment here, we have the propane tanks. Now these propane tanks are on a drawer, and they do slide out to give you easy access to both tanks. Come out nicely like that. This way you can take the back tank off and refill it without having to remove the front one. It's a nice handy feature. Okay. You also have outside speakers for playing music, that sort of thing, when you're outside camping. You have a 110 receptacle out here. If you want to plug something in, this is the back of your fridge. Not a whole lot to do in there. This is more for the RV technicians, but it is done up very, very nicely. You have all the wood that's around in here is all painted. One of the things with Northern Lite is we leave nothing unfinished. Everything is all done. When you look into the basement, the storage compartment I mentioned on the other side, all the wood inside there is all painted. Nothing is left unfinished. Little light out here for lighting up the area, because you do have an awning that covers this entire area, and even though the awning does have lights built right into it, it is nice to have a little extra light if you need it for some reason. Okay. Out here as well, you have a battery compartment which will house 2 12-volt batteries or 2 6-volt batteries. It's your preference what you put in there. You also have the furnace vent out here. It does have a drip cap over top of it. It's one of the things I mentioned a little bit earlier, was how we like to keep everything as waterproof as we possibly can. There's not too many manufacturers or RVs out there that have drip caps over top of their furnace vents, and this is just one of the extra little things that we do to help keep our unit as waterproof as we possibly can. You also have a storage compartment in this one here. This is a 10-2. It comes standard pre-wired for a generator. You can see the cords in there, both 12-volt cords right here, as well as a propane connection. The generator that you would have in here is propane powered. If you don't have a generator, you can hook that propane up to a little RV cooler, that sort of thing. So you can do some barbecuing outside as well. Now around the back of the camper, you have your patio step with nice fold-up steps. They're very, very simple to operate. just fold up like that. The bottom of the step is just as nice as the top. It has grips on it. If you happen to be pulling a trailer, this is how you would have to keep the steps, because your trailer hitch is going to come out in this section down here, and then you would end up just stepping on your trailer hitch into the camper, and that's how you would access the unit. No trailer behind here. When you get to your campsite, you just fold them down like that. Okay. This one also has the removable step on it. I can't show you it right now just simply because the camper's a little too low to the ground, but it just gives you a third step, gets the camper a little bit lower to the, or the steps a little bit lower to the ground if you happen to have a tall truck. The camper does have an awning on the back as well. This is a power awning. Both awnings are powered. Both of them have LED lights built right into the awning. You have a ladder on the back that gives you access to the top of the camper. Keep things clean up there. Or perhaps you have a boat rack, which is an option on all of our campers. You can store your boat up there, or kayaks or surfboards, that sort of thing. Also on the roof, you will find on the 10-2 limited editions, or any of the limited edition models, 285 watt solar panels, which do charge your batteries when you have enough sunshine to do so. So on the back of the camper, we do have a nice storage compartment down below here, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, this is a heated compartment, so everything is down in there. Again, stays nice and warm and dry. You simply remove that step, lift this up, pull this nice large tray out. This tray is completely removable. It's not on any tracks or anything, so it just comes out very nicely. So if it happens to get dirty, you can hose it out and keep it nice and clean. And then just simply gets put back in place like so. Turn the latch, put your step back on, and you're good to go. Just as simple as that. Also on the outside of the camper, you have a storage compartment for your sewer hose. Just simply goes right in here. You have a very nice aluminum cap that is exclusive to Northern Lite. Just put it on like that, snap it closed, and it stays closed. Another thing I want to point out on the outside of the coach is how nicely everything is caulked. Okay, everywhere you look on the outside, there is a bead of caulking around the openings, around places like the exterior shower, up around here, the water fill, all these spots. And this caulking job is done to absolute perfection. This is also echoed inside the unit. When we do the orientation on the inside, I will show you some areas in there that are caulked, and it is just an absolutely beautiful job that is done. So now we're inside the camper, and again, to reiterate, this is the 10-2 limited edition wet bath. This camper is done up in the black and steel gray interior. So you have the black here and the steel gray in the center. There are several different interior fabrics that are available. You have a solid black, you have black and light gray, you have black and red, which we call black diamond. Solid black, if I haven't mentioned that already, and there's the chocolate sandstone. The wood in this unit here is the gray Stokes. It is an option. It's relatively new for us. We've had it in circulation for about a little over a year, maybe a year and a half now. It is going over very, very well. Quite excited about it. A lot of the campers that we're building are done in this wood, and this is all real wood. It's not photo finish or vinyl wrap, in layman's terms, wallpaper that looks like wood. It is solid wood in areas like this. Again, is all real wood. As I mentioned, on the outside of the camper, everywhere you look inside this unit, everything is completely finished right inside the cabinets. It is all very, very, very well done to the highest level of perfection. All the cabinet doors are on shocks like this, so they don't come open on you when you are traveling down the road, which is very important. Same thing over on this side here. This one has a microwave in it, which is standard equipment on the limited edition. On the special editions, it is an option. It is simple enough to take out too as well if you didn't want it in here. You have a nice large stainless steel sink with a cutting board. This cutting board has nice little feet on it which hold it nicely in place when it is on top of the sink. It doesn't move around at all. It also allows you to put it on top of the stove, and it grips very, very nicely there. It gives you an extra work surface. This camper is equipped with the U-shaped dinette, which is an option. Standard is a face-to-face dinette, so the table does go right over to the wall in the face-to-face dinette. Both tables have an option or a function that allows the table to move around, gives easier access to the dinette, whether you're going to the back of the dinette or just on the ends. The windows are all covered with a blind and a screen. This is the blind section here. You can bring the window down, the blind down like this, and have a screen and a blind. Or you can completely open it up like this and open up the window. And it's an awning style window so that you can have it open in the rain. And it opens up quite wide, and then of course comes down, and you can actually lock it in the open position and just have a little bit of a flow of nice fresh air coming into your camper. This unit also has AC as standard equipment. All the limited editions have AC for standard. The bunk area has a full-size queen mattress, not an RV queen. This measures 60 by 80. These are residential measurements. A lot of mattresses in RVs are an RV mattress, which is 60 by 74 inches. So if you're used to a full-size mattress, this is what you want here. You have a lot of storage up in the bunk area. You have a hanging closet right up in this area here, which is quite deep. I can put my arm down in there, and it is this deep on my arm inside. You also have a privacy curtain which pulls across. Makes a nice private sleeping area if you happen to have guests that are with you and perhaps sleeping in the dinette area, which also makes into a bed. You have a TV on a swivel on an arm that swings around like so. This is a 12-volt TV, so you do not need to be plugged into shore power to run off to have this TV running. It would just run straight off your batteries. So in this location here, you do have your entertainment center, stereo with a CD, DVD player. It is Bluetooth compatible, so you can hook up your phone and control the stereo here, as well as volume and that sort of thing on the TV. Also in this section here, you have two USB connections for charging your phone, and you also have another 12-volt connection right here, more like a cigarette type lighter for if you have a charger that is like that. Okay. All the lights inside here are all LED lights. You have nice little reading lights located in the dinette as well as up in the bunk area. They do have USB connections on them for charging your phone here. Being that they're LEDs, they don't generate any heat at all. I can grab this. This has been on for probably 10 minutes and it's still quite cool to the touch. Down here you have the controls for your water heater. That is controlled or powered by either propane or 110, and it's just a simple flick of a switch. You just flick the switch. This one here would be for the propane, and this one here is for 110. If you're plugged into shore power, you just flick this one right here and your fridge operates on 110 power. If you don't, then you just run it on propane right there. All the drawers are on full extension roller bearing drawer glides. They just come, like I say, come out the whole way. They have a very good, strong catch at the back, so again, they don't come out on you when you're traveling. They just pop out like that. The drawer construction is quite solid. We use 9-ply Russian birch in here, and it makes a very, very solid drawer construction. There is no particle board or OSB board in this unit anywhere. All right, so up in the bunk area, you have the same style of windows that you do down in the galley and the dinette area. You also have a skylight, an opening skylight in this area here, which is really quite nice because it does open quite a ways. It is also an escape hatch, but most people obviously are using it as a skylight. You do have a blind that comes across like this, or a screen like so, and it allows you to have nice cool air flowing across you when you sleep. Makes for a nice sleeping atmosphere. All right, so now look in the other direction. We do have controls up here. Okay. This is a control for the fantastic fan. It is a remote control. Has controls on it to open the lid on it. Has temperature settings on it. Not that it heats or cools, but it'll bring the air in and take the air out, whichever you choose, because it is a directional fan as well. But it'll get the camper to the ambient temperature quite quickly. Okay, it's a very appropriately named fan. It is called the Fantastic Fan. You do also have a control right here, okay, which gives you tank levels. Black water tank, which is from the toilet. Gray water is from the sinks, that sort of thing. And then also your freshwater tank. You have a switch right here, which is also for your water pump. Turns that off and on. Thermostat for the furnace. And then you have a clock up here as well. So on this side, you have your galley. On top of the stove, you have a 3-burner stove here, but you have a nice flush mount cover. And it simply folds up like so, and just stays back in that location there, protects the window and this area here from things that are splattering up there. All the controls for the stove are located in this area here. You do have a light that illuminates the back side of the switches. And then also the oven down here, you have another light that also lights up inside there. So you can do some nice little appetizers in there, nachos, cinnamon buns for the morning, that sort of thing. Always good to have cinnamon buns. Above the stove, you have your vent. It does have a light on it as well. Fan comes on, sucks out extra humidity from making coffee, steam, that sort of thing, or smoke. You also have a large fridge. It is a double door fridge. So you have the freezer compartment right up in this location here, and the regular fridge portion down here. The controls for the fridge are located right in here, nicely behind the opening of the fridge. This is a 3-way fridge. It's relatively uncommon, but we do put a 3-way fridge in here, and that means that it is powered off of propane, 110 and 12 volt. So you have your choice of the 3 power sources. There is an automatic switch that you just hit like so, and it chooses the best source of power, whichever happens to be the best source. If you don't have 110 power and the propane is on, it would automatically switch over to propane. Okay, so nice fridge, large, has a mirror on the outside of it if you happen to need it. In the 10-2, specifically to the 10-2 wet bath, we do have a roll-out pantry. Okay, so this comes out like this, and it allows you to store all your pantry items in here. It does have a lock down at the bottom, so you can lock it in place, and it keeps it nice and closed. Right in here is the bathroom. Okay, this is the wet bath. So you have your toilet, your shower, your sink. It's all in one. There is a shower curtain that goes around, right around in this area here, that protects the back side of the door and doesn't allow any water to come out onto the floor. Over on this side, you have some extra cabinet space. You have a large, very deep cabinet right here. It goes in the length of my arm, which is nice for putting things in there that it can be quite deep. You have 3 large drawers. Okay, 3 nice drawers right here, and they all have those nice little clips at the back that I was talking about earlier. You also have right here a hanging closet, and in here, something that I always like to point out, there is a sheet stuck to the wall here that gives you serial numbers and a lot of the information about the unit. But specifically, there is a section on here that talks about weight. Northern Lite is one of the few camper manufacturers that actually weigh their unit as it leaves the factory door, and we post that weight rate on this sheet. It is specific to this camper. It is the exact weight what this camper weighs with the options and how it is spec'd out. Is something very important. You are carrying this camper on the back of your truck. You really need to know how much it weighs. In this section here, you do have several switches and a monitoring panel for the solar system. This panel here just monitors what the voltage is in your batteries, as well as the amperage that is going into the batteries from the solar panels. There are 285 watt panels on the roof. You also have switches here to control the awning on the side of the camper here. There's in and out on that awning there. There are lights in the awning. And you do have this switch here which controls the awning on the back of the camper. Just simply push it in or out, whichever way you want to go. And then here's the switch here for your lights. Down here you have a battery disconnect switch, which will completely disconnect the power to the batteries if you're not using the coach, so you don't have any draw on it. Little things, a clock in the radio, that sort of thing, can start to draw the batteries down. That turns the batteries right off and on like that. As you see, the lights go off when I turn it off. A couple things I'd like to point out that sets us aside from other truck camper manufacturers is the fact that we do offer a 6-year structural warranty. This is a structural warranty that is straight from the factory. It's nothing you need to purchase at a point of sale. This is the longest structural warranty in the industry. The next longest you'll find is possibly a 3-year warranty, but it is specific to the camper, to Northern Lite. We are also the only truck camper ever produced in North America that has ever achieved a 5-star rating. We've held that rating for over 15 years in a row. It's something we are very, very proud of. No other truck camper built in North America has ever achieved that level of standard. Thank you very much for your time today and allowing me to show you this 10-2 limited edition wet bath Northern Lite truck camper. If you would like further information on the camper, please feel free to visit our website at www.northernlite.com. And feel free to reach out to one of our local dealers across North America. They're very knowledgeable in the product and would be more than happy to assist you.